populate in here again. I see some numbers in, or any numbers in. Right on. I guess somebody's here. It's a like on the thing. All right, there goes some people. The lights up here before the amount of people that are in the live. So anyway, my apologies for the last two streams cutting out. I'm still going through the hills. I think I'm coming out of it now, so it should be okay. If this one cuts out, then I'm just gonna wait until I get into an area that I know is gonna be all right. So to live stream, so it'll be maybe a few hours if it cuts out again. But for right now, I'm just gonna try to get through right now. So like I said, I'm just leaving Vegas right now. Had a tournament, did all right. Could have done better, but for this big a tournament and first time doing it, I can't complain. I cashed, so it's good. Anyway, this video I wanted to open up kind of like a Q&A, I guess, or somewhat of a discussion with the chat and what they're thinking about this whole war situation and just war in general, and the idea of how humanity is being used, like the idea of humanity and peace, all of these things, all of these like goodwill, good intention things are actually at the foundations of these world wars. And who's really pushing all of this stuff? And now that people are becoming more aware of what's going on, what are some of the directions that people are thinking about going into? Because I'm getting ready to do a video on basically on the subject of this idea of humanity being pushed, like the New Age is being pushed. Basically, humanity, the term humanity, is being used to manipulate people to act and feel and get behind certain things. The same way the New Age is being pushed. So, get in the chat if you got any questions. Oh, the sound's a little spotty. I'm going through the desert right now. Hopefully it'll stay up. If it keeps being spotty like this, then let me know in the chat. If it's too much, like if it's not even like viewable, I'll just cut it off. But if it's okay, let me know in the chat right now. Like put a 1 in the chat if it's viewable. If not, I'll just cut it out right now. But I know it looks like I should have some kind of service out here. Let's see. Let me know about the audio. A little spotty, 1 still viewable. Right on. All right. So the base, like the foundation of the video I'm getting ready to edit together, is really coming from this perspective of how basically any kind of demographic of individuals that are groups of people that are not trying to be a part of the whole mainstream system are guilted and shamed out of, what they believe and what they feel like doing. Some people don't want to be a part of this mainstream shit. And the same thing that's happening in that mainstream perspective is happening to so-called black people when they speak of like having our own nation, our own sort of ways of living together, and just like not even trying to be a part of this whole system. When you bring up that kind of stuff, like, people shut down. They don't even want to hear what you're saying because they automatically pigeonhole you into this idea that you're racist, that you're this, that you're that. But the people that are usually saying that kind of stuff are not able to empathize with the situations that our people have been through. And as soon as you say that, you have people saying, well, we're all enslaved. We're all this. So that response is an automatic dismissal. They're dismissing your perspective. They're dismissing your history. They're dismissing your process. Like, there's a amount of healing that needs to come about based upon the shit that we've been through over time. Our experience is not like everybody else's experience. No matter how bad you think you have it right now, you have to take into account what we've been through. We're still dealing with generations of hatred, racism, discrimination, being held back. Like, and this is not coming from a woe is me sort of victimized perspective. Look at it as like a doctor would look at a patient. Oh, I see, just a little windy. All right, hold on. Let me read this one. This will in turn cause the non-black racists to come. Yeah, so this is the thing. Our healing is not based upon your feelings. Like, we have a process. Look at it from a psychologist or a psychiatrist, a doctor, a psychiatrist that actually gives out, instead of pills, they give out some kind of whatever, historical healing, metaphysical healing, whatever it is, informative healing. You have to see from this, our experience is not like yours. It has never been, and it never will be. And we have to come out of this having to explain. I'm speaking for myself too. We have to like explain ourselves to individuals. I mean, we don't have to, but I find myself having to explain myself to individuals who lack empathy, like a narcissist lacking empathy. So basically what's happening is we're realizing historically what has happened to us, and we're done with it. And in response, people are saying, well, what are you doing? You're just doing the same thing that was done. No, we are not doing the same thing that was done to us, to you. We're not generating entire systems to psychologically mind control the entire world against a certain group of people. So-called black people around the world are being treated a certain way, horribly, around the world. And this goes for lighter skinned so-called black people around the world are treated different than darker skin. There weren't books that were published to talk about how savage and animalistic you were and how you weren't even human. We're not doing that shit. We didn't come up with that. There's no way that this is equivalent to what has been done to us. So for somebody to say we're all enslaved, fuck you. First of all, fuck you, because you're just automatically emotionally dismissing our process and our experience. And fuck you for doing that, because you have no like ability to even comprehend where we're coming from. So now that we're pulling away and we're saying, no, fuck this, fuck you. I'm trying to read at the same time. I'll get to the chat. Keep doing the chat thing, because I'll pop in every now and again. Now that people are becoming aware of it, the defense mechanism to keep us in check basically is to have all the house slaves, like the celebrities, push this humanity issue and push this interracial thing. This is what all your TV shows, your movies, your Super Bowl commercials, everything is about that. To maintain, because if they maintain the interracial perspective, they still maintain control because they have an in on everybody. But you have people are becoming aware of this, the way things have been and the way things are, and realizing that no, we need to do this on our own. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're not doing what you did to us. It's not the same thing. Like I said, it's basically like a narcissist that is wanting to shame and guilt you for pulling away from their tentacles, their grip on you. What happens for people who have dealt with extreme narcissism, people who send out their flying monkeys at you and want to down talk you and talk shit about you. This is what happens to us when we start speaking from an empowered perspective. These wars are not our wars. Look at all this American Civil War, World War I. That's not the majority of the peoples of the world. That's dealing with this colonial Western power shit and what's at the infrastructure of this Western power dynamic. You can't leave racism out of that. You have to be totally fucking naive to not see the race issue in these. Like I was saying, them people who are calling this a world war and fighting for peace and freedom and all that shit. Who the fuck made you in charge of the world? Like, what makes you think we need you to do this? See, people are still underneath that dynamic, and until we let that